My dear students, today's poem, Somebody's Mother, that is 2.3, begins with a biblical quote which says, "Do unto others as you would have done others do unto you," which means do to others what you want to do, what you want it back to you. Whatever you give to others comes back to you. Spend some time before we begin our poetry, things that you have done to others which have come back to you. Spend some time in silence. This poem, Somebody's Mother, is the observation by the poet. She sees that, makes an observation in the crowd, how a small good deed can become a blessing for us. We have this Somebody's Mother, and we will run through this poem briefly and understand. On page 37. The woman was old and ragged and grey, and bent with chill of a winter's day. The streets were white with the recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. Now it is describing an old woman. Imagine it's of course in the European setup, but in the Indian setup also you can understand when you travel by trains or you are on the bus stands. In the crowd, you see lots of these old people there. And how many of us really do we really care when we are in a hurry to see these people there? So it is talking about this old lady and the characteristics of how she is going in that crowded place. At the crowded crossing she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by, unheeding the glance of her anxious eye. Now she wanted to cross the road, but everybody was in a hurry. As you know, people are busy and they were not even bothered what is happening to this lady that she is waiting for her. This is the setup that is given in the second stanza. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, came happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past the woman, so old and grey, hasten the children on their way. In the third stanza, the poet depicts or observes that the schools are over and the children are coming back, going back to their home happily. And being in the European setup, it shows that there is a lot of snow. They throw snow around, kick the snow and go. They see the old lady maybe, or they have not even bothered to see that she is standing there and she is waiting to cross the road. None offered a helping hand to her, so weak and timid, afraid to stir, lest the carriage wheels or the horse's feet should trample her down in the slippery street. Again, it tells that nobody cared about her, that she wants to cross the road, and she was afraid to cross the road because this happened in the time when there were carriages, horse carriages, not the cars and the vehicles, and she was afraid that the horse might run over her or the carriage might go over her or she might fall down in the snow, so she was afraid to cross the road. At last came out of the merry troop the gayest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, "I'll help you across if you wish to go." There was a boy who came from the school boy who came, though there were so many of them they never noticed. But this happy boy comes to her, sees her that she needs help, understands that she needs help, and goes to her and says, "Madam, if you want to cross the road, I can help you. Do you need my help?" Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed, and so without hurt or harm, he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. Now this was a small thing for this boy. Just help her to cross the road, and then he was back with his friends. So he said, "Okay, I have done a small thing." He was not even bothered about what he has done, but he was happy. Okay, let I have anyway passing through this. Let me help this lady, and then just a few couple of minutes, and he is back with his friends. But she was happy that there was someone to help him. She is somebody's mother, boys, for all she is aged and poor and slow, and someone sometime will lend a hand to help my mother, you understand? If ever she is old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away. Now these boys, his friends, question him and laugh at him and say, "Why did you help that lady? Anyway, she is old, she would have managed. Why you wanted to go and help?" And this boy who had a kind heart says that one day my mother also might become old. Maybe somebody might need help, and when you can do something good, you should always do. And that was the attitude this young boy, the happiest boy of all the group, had, and so he expressed it with his to his friends. Somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, God be kind to that noble boy who is somebody's son and pride and joy. Now, this boy did a small deed of helping this lady to cross the road, and now, if you see, he gets a prayer, a blessing through this old lady. An old lady says, whoever's child he may be, whoever's mother's pride he may be, she is praying for him. He becomes beautiful in the eyes of this old woman. He owns blessings in the eyes of God and ultimately becomes a good human person. My dear friends, this is the end of the poem written by Mary Doe Bryan, and she expects us that we pick up values in our own little ways and remember that whatever we do for others comes back to us. So always try that we do as much as possible good to others, and God will bless us. People will remember us gratefully that we are good human beings. Wish you all the best in your lessons, in your career, and as a human person.